Hi, this is Matt from Find My Blogway. I'm going to show you around a tool that I use pretty much every day and something that I pretty much couldn't do without regarding SEO and website analysis in general. There's also loads of big benefits to using the tool for link building and just general analysis of your site. The tool is the SEO Tools plugin for Excel. Now this was created by Niels Bosma. You can get to his site at nielsbosma.se. That's where you can get the free download. You can also donate to Niels because he's done it through his own kind of own time. So I'd probably recommend doing that as well if you do enjoy it. But follow the simple instructions on the download page here, and you can get this quickly installed. Literally takes a couple of minutes to get that installed into Excel. So let me just bring up Excel. Once you've installed the SEO Tools plugin, you'll have an extra tab showing on Microsoft Excel, and you'll have a whole host of different features. I'm going to talk to you about a few features that I use on a regular basis, and you'll be able to see the initial value of using this particular plugin. I'll just give you a quick overview of some of the features that you've got here. So essentially the way the plugin works is you have a load of extra functions that you can run in Excel that link up to a variety of different APIs and different bits of software online that you can use as well, which are great. So what we've got here are all the different on-page SEO functions that you can do. So you can find out what the H1 tag of a page is, what the meta description, what the meta title is, the size of the page, the response time, if something is found on a particular page. So that can be really handy if you're looking for a particular email address to see if that's found on any of the particular pages, or a particular string that you're trying to find. Similar to some of the stuff if you've used Screaming Frog's SEO Spider before. Some of the stuff they do for there, but for free. Also, you can check to see if one website links to another URL. So if your website has a link from a list of URLs, quickly check page rank, see if a web page has been indexed, find duplicate content, count how many words has been there, link up to Majestic SEO, Google Analytics, SEOlytics if you use that as well. There's also loads of scraping options which I don't think we'll even be able to get through to, because those are really custom stuff that you can do. Some of the XPath on URL stuff is really pretty incredible. I think that's a whole tutorial in itself. Find social shares and a whole host of other things. So I'll start getting to some practical applications now. So in sheet 1, what I've got here is using Scrapebox, which some of you may be aware of. Jacob King recently did an incredible tutorial for Scrapebox, and I'd really recommend you check that out actually. And what I've done is, using Scrapebox, I've pulled off a list of loads of travel websites that have kind of travel links pages or resource pages where they list their favorite travel blogs. Now for me, this is really handy because I conveniently own a travel blog and I would like to be listed on a lot of these sites. However, one thing that I want to make sure is that they're fairly good quality sites, and I want to know a little bit more about the sites first. So I have a Majestic SEO subscription, just a basic one, $35 account per month. So I'm just going to log in. So this will link up now into the SEO Tools plugin. So what I can do is grab a load. In fact, I'm just going to shorten this down to just 50 links, just so we can make this a bit more manageable. And I'm just going to select these links here, paste these in to the URL box on the side. And what you've got here is you can get index data, So that could be citation flow, the trust flow, how many backlinks a specific URL has, when it was last crawled, all of these different metrics that you can then kind of plonk straight into Excel. So if you're reporting for a client, this can also be really time saving and just awesome in general for doing any kind of reporting or just personal reporting as well. Likewise, you can get backlink data, anchor text from specific links, keyword stuff, new and lost backlinks, which I'll show you in a second. For this, what I just want to find out is I just want to find out the citation flow, the trust flow, two metrics which I find really useful when just kind of filtering out link prospects, and how many external backlinks. I'm going to look in the fresh index, and I want to have I want to exclude the headers. I don't want it to start reformatting some headers into my data at the moment, but normally I would, but just for this I won't. So what I'll do here, in fact, let's add a new cell here, URL, and then we can add in those headers. Okay, and literally I'm just going to press that, and that was in real time. I haven't paused the video, that's just done it that quickly. And what I've managed to do is pull off all the citation flow, the trust flow, and the external backlinks for the majority of these URLs. Bear in mind, I've just literally pulled these URLs out of Scrapebox, so some of them might not necessarily be indexed properly, or they might not have any trust flow or citation flow on them, and there may be relatively new URLs as well. So it wasn't likely I was going to get a load of all the data that I wanted, but what I can then quickly do is start easily filtering out information. Now, because I can combine this data source in with Excel's own functions, I can start filtering high quality links, links with a really high trust flow. I could set up some conditional formatting maybe to highlight some of the links that have, let's say, conditional formatting, highlight cells with trust flow of less than 12. Okay, and there we go. I mean, for this kind of data set, I didn't really need that visual cue, but I just want to show you how that can become very useful. So straight away, we can pick out a few good quality links that we can go after, ignore a few of the others. Not necessarily going to ignore them, but you can see straight away by combining Majestic SEO within Excel, you can quickly get some really good visualizations of your data and more data quickly. So you skip that whole middle process of copy and pasting into a CSV to a text file, combining spreadsheets, which does take a lot of time, and this can be done in a few minutes. So that's really awesome. Now, if you don't have a Majestic SEO Tools subscription, which a lot of you may not, you might be thinking, well, that's great, Matt, but what use is this to me? So there is also some built-in functions that we can look at here. So let's have a look at the Google PageRank maybe of these pages. Now what we can do is, by selecting the PageRank function, so it looks just like an Excel function because that's what it is, and I want to grab the URL in cell A2, so find the PageRank of this specific link. Okay, now this normally takes a little bit of time to grab all the PageRank, and you'll see when I'm doing this, Excel will freeze up. Now don't worry, it hasn't completely lost its mind and is just going to crash on you. It does just generally take a little bit longer to kind of pull this data in. So you'll see this is slowly adjusting. If it's -1, like, as you can imagine, it's not got really any page rank, or toolbar page rank at least. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video. Oh, actually, don't need to, because that's just done it all for us. Okay, actually no, it hasn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video so that we can then come back when this is finished. Okay, so that's kind of done all of its work now, and what I've also done is I've just set up some conditional formatting. One little tip that I found, because it does take quite a while for the SEO Tools plugin to link up and grab the PR for each of these URLs, it means anytime you open this spreadsheet, it's going to redo those calculations, because we haven't just got a value in there, we've got an actual formula. If you are going to be kind of just opening this up again and kind of referring back to the same sheet, what I generally always do is just do, once it's finished calculating everything, just do a copy and then paste, and then paste special, paste values. So I've essentially just pasted them as just their values instead of the formula. So it just means it just speeds things up a little bit. I'm just going to go back and put that conditional formatting on. So I can highlight cells with a PR of less than 1 and see any with no page rank assigned to them. Let's set up that filter again. Largest to smallest. Or maybe what we'll do is just deselect any, actually, without page rank, and then we can start filtering them by trust flow from there. So again, if you don't have any Majestic SEO accounts or SEO Analytics, where you can do some other stuff on there as well, get some domain metrics. I don't actually use SEO Analytics, so I do, and to be honest, I think that Majestic SEO has a lot more features linking up with Excel itself. So straight away, you've got a really good data set here for your link prospecting. Now, on top of this, I might want to check if actually, have I already got a backlink from these guys? Now, I don't actually know if I do have any backlinks from here, but I'll show you. How you can check that. So just creating a new cell here. What I'm going to do is check backlink. So verify that a backlink is present on a page with correct text link and there's no rel follow, blah, blah. So the page URL is the URL of the page where the link should be present. So this part of the formula, we've got this URL that we're checking, and then expected href link. We'll have it's my travel blog. Okay, let's just see across any of these. Again, I'll just pause the video while it does that. So that's finished doing the checks now, and what it's found, as you'll see here, failed, no link with href found, so I don't have a link from this site. There are two sites actually. This blog, which actually I've just remembered, do have a link from these two websites here. So what I can instantly say is, okay, let's, again, before, I'm just going to copy these as their values, get rid of the formulas so it just speeds things up a bit. So what I want to do is go back into the filter. Let me just redo that. Okay, and I don't want any that I've already got a link from. So I've filtered down my link targets. Straight away, I can pick a nice group of links that have some page rank on them, so they've been around for at least a little while. I can also see the trust flow of these links, citation flow, and checking that I don't already have a link from these people as well. So I'm not going to go out and start my outreach and find, oh, actually I've already got a link from this person, so that was a waste of my time. So that's one thing where the SEO Tools plugin can be incredibly useful. And yes, there are other tools that do a similar sort of thing, but do they do it straight in Excel? No. Yes, you can do this exact thing here with Screaming Frog, but you have to export it to a CSV. You then will, like most people that work within digital marketing, upload their information from various different data sources into Excel, spend a bit of extra time when actually you could just have it all in one place. And because these are actually dynamic functions that you're using, the data can update dynamically. So if you have a monthly report that you want to run based on some of these different factors, so maybe you could have your own different web pages viewing the trust flow, citation flow, and you want to see how that's evolving over time, you can just have a formula, open it up once a month or once a week and see how that's evolving. Particularly useful if you own a few different domains. Now I'm going to just show you how this also links up with Google Analytics. So we've done a bit of link analysis here, but I'll show you how we can do some really good analysis that's more internal stuff. So you can pretty much grab any information that you want from Google Analytics and stuff it into Excel. Now that to any online marketer should seem like a good and useful feature to have. Now all you need to do is link up your Google Analytics. I've already done it to my personal Google Analytics file, and it just took a few seconds. So I'm just going to grab the data from my travel blog to stick with that. What I'm going to grab is, let's just say, grab the visitors. I want to know how many visitors in the past month. We go down to dimensions, and a nice thing actually that they do here is within all of these areas, because yes, it does look slightly different to analytics itself, is the host name from which tracking request is made, a page on your website specified by page and or query parameters used in conjunction with GA hostname to get the full URL of your page. So it does give good explanation. So what I want to find is the traffic coming to each of the different pages. So I'll select hostname, page path. Then what I could also do is do some segments. So non-paid search traffic coming through. Put some filters in here of your own. So for example here, GA country equals Sweden. There's an example. So you can do that for any of these specific variables and set up your own filters, sort them in specific ways. I'm just going to max this out. Exclude headers, I want to keep that, you can also save this configuration if you want to run it at a later date. I should have also mentioned there's also multi-channel funnel reporting that you can do in here. So a lot of potential conversion tracking that you can have a little look at there. So I'm just going to insert that, and that was all done in real time, so really quick. So obviously here's the host name, stories, and here's the page path. So obviously a lot of the attachments on here, some of my categories, looking at a few of the different pages on the site. Let's just have a look at organic search traffic, and we will go back to our data and our filter this, sort it largest to smallest. You can see last month, and I can do this at any kind of interval. So what we could do here is pull in data, okay, for this, and then pull in last month's data, the month before that, and start getting some nice kind of line graphs or different charts that we can start showing progression from non-organic search, especially considering that a lot of your kind of keyword data now, with the recent announcement with the not provided controversies that's been going on, really taking a look at the pages that are seeing organic search traffic within your website is going to be a good idea of how you're going to determine how well your site's performing in the search engines themselves. So I'm just going to max this out a bit. So I can see the top performing page on my travel blog is the one about teaching English in Thailand. Our experience of the full moon party in Thailand, things to do in Koh Samui, finding a travel buddy, planning a trip to Thailand, and the home page itself. This one about when I got a suit measured up in Thailand. That was actually a guest post on the blog. So really good data here that we can take a little look at. What we can start doing is we could filter out specific kind of data less than, say, 10 visits. So we could just look at our high performing stuff. So maybe we'll do that. Less than 10. Sorry. Greater than 10 should have put. Okay, so we've got stuff that's actually bringing through traffic. So interesting to see some of the tag pages actually bringing through organic search traffic within the month. So could have a little look there. And the next thing I'm going to do is really a technique that I found on a blog that was on the Kaiser the Sage blog. Jason Akita wrote that. Sorry, Jason, if I pronounced your second name incorrectly. I would imagine a lot of people do. But what the blog focused around, this was near the start of this year, all about looking at data from your Google Analytics, finding web pages in particular that perform particularly well, and then seeing how you can re-optimize that content to boost SEO performance even more, to drive through much more search traffic. And it mainly stems from just the on-page SEO. So this is where we can now tie in some of the other features of the SEO Tools plugin. So if I'm bringing in all of this traffic from each of these URLs, obviously keyword data isn't really available because all you're going to get is a load of not provided, not set data now. So we need to look at the on-page SEO aspects to see if we can kind of find some ideas of types of keywords that people might be searching for. So the first thing that I'm going to do is go on page, HTML title, and I'm just going to click here. Actually, sorry, I need to merge these fields. Just going to insert here. One thing that I've just realized there, sorry, is that we've got host name and the page path as two separate fields. So a quick way of getting around that is to equals A and B. There we've just merged those two together. Just going to paste these as a value. So full URL. Just paste them as value so that I can just get rid of these. Okay. So going back to that. So title tag. What I'm going to do is click this cell here, go through to on page, HTML title, select this cell here. Okay. I've realized another thing. So it's being slightly temperamental, or should I say I'm being a bit of an idiot. Need to actually add in HTML. Just going to repeat that process. It's really good that I'm making these mistakes so that you can see if you come across any of these. Of course, is part of my plan. Not okay. Paste values again, just so I'm able to delete these. Okay, right now maybe might be able to do it right this time. So let's get to the title tag, and yet again, third time lucky. Select our URL that we want to find a page title of, and there we go. How to get a job teaching English in Thailand. So I'm just going to do that for all of these. I'll pause the video while it loads. Okay, so that didn't really take long. It took about 35-40 seconds, and there we've got all of our title tags that we can see for each of these URLs. Now, one thing that I always do, title length, let's just quickly find out the length of these titles and characters. Simple Excel formula equals len, and then we do an open bracket. Select this here, close that off. Okay, now we've got the length title. Max this out. And then what I always do, I don't think I have done anything wrong here, but if it's greater than, yeah, I think I have actually. Okay, straight away, what I can find there, and actually, this isn't correct, is it? That's showing code. Okay, I thought I didn't do that wrong. Right, let me just correct these. Obviously, this is showing in code view. One nice thing that you can have is to quickly see if you've done your titles too long. So that could be potentially missing out on some click-throughs from the search engines if your titles past 70 characters. So just a nice check. Also, I can have a little look if my titles are particularly short. So what I'll do again is I like using conditional formatting because it really does help you just not miss anything. If we've got anything that's less than 50, we'll highlight that with green. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 there that we can instantly say, maybe we could actually increase this title length and bed in some more keywords. So there could be an opportunity there that we can find, especially on like some of the tag pages we've got. Stories about Koh Phangan, melted stories. So a lot of these title tags where we've got melted stories in them, we could have a little look at maybe bedding in some keywords there. So straight away you found popular content that you can make even more popular. And just from a bit of an SEO analysis point of view. Now, another really important thing, meta description. Have we got relevant meta descriptions across each of these pages? If these are the ones that are bringing in loads of search traffic, how can we squeeze a bit more search traffic out of there? So let's again go to on page, meta description, click our URL, okay, reduce that down. I'll just pause the video. Oh, in fact, that's done that incredibly quickly. Okay, that was very quick. I wasn't expecting that. That's handy. I'm just going to do what I always do. Paste this as values. Then again, meta description length equals len, open brackets. Yeah. Okay, and what I'll then do is, I think meta description is about 155 characters, shouldn't really be more than, so it's greater than 155. Okay, And also I want to do a bit of conditional formatting, is less than say 90, because that's gonna look a bit too short, so I'll just do that as yellow. So straight away I've spotted some that have meta descriptions that are too long. You'll also be able to see here, you could search for duplicates in there if you've got duplicate data. Straight away I've found something here, no meta description. So there's a quick way that we could probably increase the click-through rate in the search engines, because it's likely that a lot of these posts are ranking well for quite a few keywords. So if I can quickly add in a meta description there, reduce the length of these meta descriptions so that they're appearing correctly, making sure we've got keywords bedded in there, then we could definitely squeeze some more traffic through to the site, which is what our kind of main aim really is here. So straight away you can see how valuable this is. Now if you want to go even further with your analysis, SEO Tools has some great stuff for just having a little look at social signals. So FB likes, Google Plus, tweets. Okay, so like with this, we go social, Facebook likes, put in the URL, pull this down, I'll do this thing, I'll quickly pause the video. There. Okay, that's done that now. So Google Plus again, find out Google Plus count, URL. I'll just drag that down. And likewise, we can also do that for the tweets. So I'll just pause the video again. And then finally, what we can do is get those tweets. So again, just going into the social Twitter account, get the URL here, pull that down, just pause that video while that's working again. So now we've got all of our social share information, so might want to go in and do a bit more conditional formatting. So let's just highlight some where we've got maybe more than 10 shares with a nice green fill, so that we can see posts that have performed particularly well. We could maybe even kind of do an auto sum there, just to do a total, and then maybe do some conditional formatting to see any of these URLs that have had maybe more than overall 15 or let's say 20 green, and then we can quickly see any that haven't had any social shares. Why is that? It's our About Us page, our Destinations page. Maybe we could make those pages a bit more engaging in terms of on a social side of things. Likewise, some of our tag pages, maybe there could be ways that we could integrate social media into them somehow. And then to do that, we could find, okay, these have been shared a lot, particularly on Facebook. Let's say this has been shared. Let's have a look at how much traffic that's brought in from Facebook, which we could also do via SEO tools, via the Google Analytics side of things, and have a look and compare, see what's going right with those pages and why these are outperforming some of the others, and then really start improving our content moving forward. So what we've just done in really the space of just over half an hour is drill down a load of our link targets, sift them out, find out if we've got backlinks for them, go through all of the domain metrics and get some really valuable information so that we can go out and whether you want to then upload these into BuzzStream and start your outreach, And then also we've done a nice internal analysis. This is really just the tip of the iceberg, as you can imagine. Total shares there. And you can do all sorts of things with this plugin. And considering it's free, you can understand why at the start of the video I was saying you should go and donate something to Niels. I've done that myself. And to be honest, he's really done us all a favor here by putting together what is probably my most valued tool that I use on a daily basis. So go and download it, try it out. Let me know if you come up with any other awesome ways to use it. And if you have anything specific, get in touch in the comments below. Okay, thanks for listening, everyone, and I hope you found it useful.